Hi there. I hope you are doing well. My name is Victor Kennedy, and if you're just joining us for the first time on this channel, I want to say welcome. So I'm sure that by now that most of you have watched Tyler Perry's new movie, Beauty in Black. Um, and this video, usually this channel is not a place where we do commentary on videos and stuff. But I thought to kind of just say something about my thoughts and my initial thoughts, especially as I watched the movie. The storyline, I think, on one hand, it's great and interesting in many ways. And it's a picture of a girl that is navigating a lot of things, right? Being sent out of her house by the mom, and she ended up in prostitution, essentially, or rather ended up as a dancer, as an exotic dancer, some would say. But essentially, in the video, we'll see the challenges that this lady, that she had to face, having to live in this world, in this particular world that she finds herself. But for me, I think the storyline, it's great and interesting because for most people, you want to kind of maybe see a little bit of yourself in the struggle of someone, and I think that that kind of captures to some degree the struggles that many people may be having, coming from a broken family or broken home, and maybe being out and hustling, and I use that in quote, to kind of make something for themselves. But overall, for me, as I was watching this movie, given the fact it's a Tyler Perry movie, I enjoy watching this movie. Usually, good story. He tells black story, as he would say that. But the concern that I have, I don't know if you did have this concern, was as I was watching this, I couldn't finish past the first two episodes simply because the graphic details and the graphic images that I saw, the language was so, man, it was so brutal and nasty and Christian. I'm not saying it's a Christian movie, but if this is a Tyler Perry movie and he kind of self-identifies himself as a Christian, and mind you, this was also the same guy that donated some money to T.D. Jakes' church and actually laid hands on Bishop Jakes. And of course, I don't know, I wouldn't deny that he might be operating in some anointing or whatever. I don't know. I don't know him as a person. And in the video, for most of you that have watched the Bishop Jake, also fell under the anointing in the video. I have nothing wrong again about that anyway, but him laying hands on Bishop Jake as not a pastor, he's not a pastor because he donated money, also says a lot of things. And I'm not sure why he did that. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, if this is someone that claims to be a Christian man, I think to some degree, your Christianness should be reflected in whatever you do. If Tyler Perry is a Christian, as he claims to do, and he shoots a movie, or produces a movie, or directs a movie, or has a movie that comes out bearing his name, it should have, to some degree, a semblance of Christ. Or even if not overtly, it should to some degree have something that points people somehow to the cross. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm a scientist, and most of my research, it's about attachment, sometimes about human flourishing. But underneath that, if you read my work, it's still, there's a message that is guarding what I write. And the message is just supported by scientific data to tell a better story. But as a Christian man or woman, and whatever you do must reflect something about the cross. It doesn't have to be overt. It doesn't have to be in your face, but somehow. But anyway, I feel like I'm digressing. But my concern really is watching this video, the first two episodes, and just the nastiness. People literally, it's like you're watching porn, for heaven's sake. And this is a movie that was produced by a Christian man that was laying a hands on a bishop, for heaven's sake. Something is wrong. The other part of that was also frustrating was the language. The language, there was no scene where either the actors were not using N-word or someone is not calling a lady with the B word or just something nasty. Like, I was like, my God, the filthiness of this movie. Um, why am I bothered by this? Well, because on one hand, Tyler Perry's a man that goes out carrying himself as a Christian man, saying that he's a Christian, right? But I don't see that the fruit in the things that he does in the movie that he produced. The last movie that came out that had a very negative review, you see also the same thing as well in some degree, but it's not as graphic as this one. I don't know. Maybe I'm just taking this too seriously, but as Christians, as people that are followers of Jesus, to some degree, shouldn't there be a level of decency in the way we do things? I get it. It is cinematography. I get it. It is a movie, but you were overseeing this movie. You watched every scene. You shot every of those scenes. Well, maybe you're not the director. Perhaps you are, but you actually produced this movie. So I would think that you watched everything, and it was okay to really say okay to the language that was used in a movie that bears your name as a Christian man, and it was okay to have such graphic details for families as a Christian man. What message are you really sending to the world about what it is to be a Christian? And I think that's a problem with many people that claims to be Christians, and yet the fruit is not showing that. I remember, not to bring this also connected to someone, but just trying to just illustrate what I mean as well. I remember when Kanye West had released the Christian album, and he went to, I think, Joel Osteen's church, and he maybe converted to faith or returned back to faith. And at that time, there was a desire, perhaps a genuine desire, to really talk about Jesus and about Christ. And I remember a lot of leaders, and even in the church, a lot of Christians were like, Kanye became the new kid on the block, the new Christian kid, right? The new face of Christianity. Forgetting that being a Christian is a journey, and there've got to be a discipleship process. There has to be a level of brokenness that comes with being a Christian, to the point that it comes out in what you do. And now, guess what? It wasn't even up to a year. Kanye West became a different person, particularly after his divorce. And the rest is history. Now, it's important how we represent ourselves as Christians. And what we do really matters. Because if that movie, it's a highlight, it's a product of a Christian man, and I'm an unbeliever, I'm not a Christian, I'm not even religious, and that's a product of a Christian man, then I don't think nothing separates the person from any other person. By the fruit, we should know them. And I'm not saying this to say that Tyler Perry is not a Christian. Maybe he went too far because of criticism from his last movie. I think, it's a good storyline. It was, engaging. But, to what extent would you sacrifice the virtue of your faith just to please people or ratings? Anyway, I'm just still my spirit is still very much upset in some sense, and you could tell I'm not usually like this in my podcast, but it was a bit too much for me that I just couldn't but make this video, react to the movie, to the series, and Beauty in Black, and let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just thinking differently about it, but I think if we do say that we're Christians, it should show in the work that we do. It should show in the products that has our name on it. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Okay? All right. Bye.